Alright, there we go. So, hey guys. I am doing something a little bit different today. I'm not doing push to talk, which probably helps if I'm also trying to like change things on tokens. I don't have to have something pressed down, but we'll see how that goes because I'm very used to it. But yeah. So, with that being said, who wants to do the recap this week for Extra Hero Point?
I'm ready for it if you guys want me to do it.
We got a tough one this week.
All right then. Yeah.
Oh, right, well.
So we'd been fighting some giant dragonflies at the very start. We finished them off and continued toward the home of the boggards, which are like these frog people out in the swamps. Apparently their town was kind of taken over and it's allegedly being ruled by some kind of an evil shaman. We'll find out if that's true. So along the way, we found a place with some meandering tunnels. The place smelled horrible, like rotten decay, but we heard some beautiful music within. And most of us ended up following that music because it was so pretty. Parent and Gaz chased us inside to try to snap us out of our enthrallment, and thankfully they were able to. It turned out to be some kind of tentacled woman with a mind controlling song, and she had these two marsh giants completely under her control. So the fighting broke out. Um, she tried to mess with Kiba's mind a little bit, temporarily got him, and then got Giraffe under her control for pretty much the entire fight, which wrecked us, and then cast some kind of a terrible mind weakening spell on Parenth, which thankfully did not have permanent results, and he was able to fix himself up after a while. Eventually, we all took her out. None of us died. None of us seemed to have any lingering permanent effects, as far as we know. One of the giants did survive. His mind went back to normal, and he fled from the place. That's about
Parents.
it. That's about all that happened because it took so long.
I
It was
mean,
brutal.
yeah, that fight was a tough one for obvious reasons because Giraffe was killing the party.
It
But
was brutal.
Yarmos, you were saying something?
Yeah, for permanent effects, isn't parents still stupefied for?
No, we fixed that last time.
Oh, right.
So, well, I mean, technically he shouldn't have been able to do it with Dispel Magic because I've been told that it's not how it works. You have to use a Remove Curse spell or Remove or Cleanse Affliction, I think it's called, or something like that now. But either way, we'll let it go and proceed as we had done before. So, um, that being said, you guys had just dealt with that strange creature of the swamp here who seemed to have been really enjoying inveiling and sort of taking the minds of others and building herself her little domain out here. And, well, slew her, took her treasures, those rings and such. And now, well, it remains to be seen if you continue through the swamp and find your actual main objective here, which I believe was to find the boggards.
Yeah.
Before we do proceed back onto the map, Yarmos here would like to give the proper ablutions to this marsh giant that we killed.
Okay.
Uh, he, he would like to try and recall whatever he can about what kind of practices uh, these types of giants might have done for their dead.
Roll me a society check.
Gotcha.
Well, what you remember about marsh giants is that they are some of the more degenerated kin of the giant sort of like diaspora, perhaps we can call it. But they are well known for their worship of otherworldly powers and sort of sea-dwelling deities and even outer gods like Cthulhu, the Elder sort of mythos, and yeah, all these strange things that you don't know too much about. But you can probably put something together for this.
Gotcha. If the others don't mind spending a few minutes, we're just waiting for Yarmos to do that. Yarmos here would like to perform some rites at least.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Alright. Yarmos here goes ahead and performs these concerning rituals to the outer gods then.
Okay. You know what? For the purpose of it, roll me a religion check as well.
Alright. Blind or?
It can be public because it's sort of your performance rather than your knowledge thereof. And
Gotcha.
well, you find that a lot of these rituals are quite strange and sort of esoteric. You've learned about them, you know the symbols to draw on the floor and all that, but you start to feel that you're doing something maybe not great, or at least
Anathema.
I wouldn't say anathema, but I would certainly say you're wondering why to yourself why you're doing this in the first place.
Huh. Yarmos here cuts himself off and just sort of hopes that this fellow comes to Pharasma correctly or whatnot.
It's not a hard thing unless somebody stops the transference of a soul for them to go to Pharasma. Rarely, if ever, is there a sort of a requirement for it. But yet,
Yeah.
respect and proper sort of, respect for them, really, goes a long way in helping them move on.
Well, hopefully, the spirit saw at least some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Hope Yarmos' work here is about as done as well as he could probably manage given the circumstances.
So, the rest of you, as you sort of still maybe reeling from the combat that had ensued here, what are your plans going forward?
I don't particularly see any reason to not go to the boggards at this point.
You can certainly inform them that we've taken out the problem on their doorstep.
One of the problems, at least.
Alright. So, as for the rest of the day here, I think this is one of your last stops, I believe, on the day's trek before it's sort of turning to nightfall.
Yeah, we might as well rest.
And as always, when you do destroy a layer of, creatures, it's pretty safe enough to rest in there. So you can do it right here.
Alrighty.
I have no objection.
Not a problem.
So, you all sort of lay out the tents and put together all of your cooking equipment, whatever you need to do, to have at least a good night's rest in this otherwise pretty fetid bog here. Especially sort of under this mound of rotten trees or otherwise that have sort of came upon the shore here and ended up creating this lair in the first place.
Smells like home.
Perhaps
Well,
will take some time to
yeah.
attune to that new ring.
Feel that sort of extra jolt of magical energy in yourself as you use the new ring. And once you're ready, anybody who is ready can move their token over to the left here, sort of to signify as such. Parith is poring over his book and
How do I delete spell slots?
I don't know how those appeared there because those don't even have a like trash can icon. Or wait, no, it's because you have see like 5 up there, like the 5.
I'll just drag stuff up, I guess.
Yeah, I can see about something there. Yeah, I don't know how that happened actually, so we'll just ignore it for the time being. But yeah,
Okay.
as you guys make your way back out into the swamp here, let's change up the music a little. Just back out. Righty, and different music. Pretty much the same music, but a little bit extra ambience, of course. There's the sort of buzzing insects of the swamp and birds that are preying upon them are giving the swamp sort of a bouquet of ambience and stuff filling your ears. That being said, you're very close to your objective at this point. That sort of little peninsula going out into the Hooktongue Lake there that reportedly had those boggards.
I don't see much of a reason not to go straight to the boggards.
Do we want a charcuterie for any negotiations with the boggards?
How long does that last?
All day. Foods take a while to eat, so it goes ahead and lasts for a really long time.
Then I have no objection for sure. We don't know if we'll need it, but it sounds like it couldn't hurt.
Sort of whip together this charcuterie board in the morning with nuts and cheeses and all that, and have everyone who at least is going to talk eat it. Or wants to sort of guide the way in diplomatic matters. But yeah.
Oh, we should all know who that is.
So, pressing ahead.
Good for that.
As you guys make your way through the swamps here, that become quite familiar to you, you head out towards this patch of land that gets a little bit more dry on the edge of the lake here. It seems like sort of all the soot, or silt rather, that the lake deposits or solidifies seems to make the land itself a little bit more easy to navigate. And it also makes sense that a village would crop up on that more solid land. And you see about, we'll say 100 feet ahead of you, sort of through a couple of the trees here that sort of hang low over some of the village, are a couple of huts. But no people that you can see out here.
Well, shall we march right on up there?
We might as well.
Let's make sure we take the front entrance.
But be careful. If there is something bad going on here, it might be a trap, maybe?
Of course. Remain on your
Well-
guard.
They wouldn't know that we were coming, would they?
Unless they scouted us.
Was anyone wanting to keep watch? Just making sure that nobody was scouting?
No, I was searching.
Okay. So yeah, establish your exploration activities as you're sort of entering the town here.
Yeah. Which exploration activity exactly is keeping watch for like scouts and stuff?
That would be, well, the thing about it is, in specific terms, traps and like hidden objects and stuff like that is your search action. But when it comes to other creatures, it is them rolling stealth against you, your perception DC. There's nothing in particular except for like, well, the scout action, which helps you, you know, get better initiative.
I think Eva is usually our scouts, but if he wants to search, then I could.
I also probably have the worst perception in the group.
Yeah, which is why.
Yeah, you guys remember how to put those little buffs on yourselves if you're changing anything.
Yep, I have the scout one, which will give us an edge in initiative when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. Or if, would be.
Okay, yeah, but...
You know what may be coming or not. Well,
Right.
honestly, remains to be seen.
It does.
So, if you guys are searching, anybody who is, can roll me a perception check as you're sort of approaching the village here. We'll look out for anything of note or any traps lining the sort of entryway to this place, because, well, it looks strangely empty from what you can see beyond this sort of great mound of dirt that's actually in front of you. The whole village seems devoid of any life, except for maybe the small bit of firelight that you can see near its center. And
Talk about Farnhold.
Hopefully, everybody isn't also missing from this place. That would be kind of bad.
you also see, strangely, these couple of mounds, almost... Well, they're not mounds, but rather they seem to be some sort of burrow that would lead under the ground here. So, you guys are going forward, proceed as you wish.
Do boggards burrow?
It's a good question. Would we know that?
You're pretty sure they don't, but you can always roll a society check.
Is this like a hill?
Yeah, it's sort of a hill, a mound here that they seem to have also burrowed underneath here. Rushing up to the top of it is about 10 feet high or so.
How do we get down?
And Giraffe... Sorry, did I...
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, yes. Giraffe, as you're sliding down this side, you... All of a sudden, sort of as you're planting your feet at the sort of other end of the mound here, two boggards sort of croak low and loud sort of out towards you as they sort of leap down from the tree, bearing these little spears in their hands. They don't look quite threatening to you, but they are immediately shouting in their, well, native language towards you. I don't think anybody speaks boggard, though, in this group.
I don't recall knowing boggard.
Unfortunately not.
Do not speak boggard, unfortunately.
Making these really deep, strange croaks towards you. And you start to realize that more boggards are leaping down from trees, but nowhere in the village, actually. A little bit on the west here, and a little bit from the north of the village, you see a couple more sort of rushing down as those loud croaks sort of echo out across it. But this is all that arrives, strangely enough.
Does anybody know what they're saying?
Look.
Not a clue.
Maybe one of us should have stayed a frog from back during the debates.
That wouldn't have actually given me the ability to understand their language. In fact, my mind was entirely intact.
They're sort of getting a little bit more antsy as you guys are entering a little bit more.
I've basically stopped where I'm standing, and I stick the blade of the glaive in the ground so that it's very clear that I'm not holding it or whatever, and I kind of hold up my hands to them and say, "We mean no harm. Is there anybody here who can understand our speech?"
Roll me a diplomacy check. The DC will be pretty high.
Excellent.
Hey, you get a bonus to your attempts to make an impression, right?
I already have that bonus, but the charcuterie will actually help my my insight.
Okay. So, Kiba, as you plant your glaive in the ground and sort of try to speak to them, none of them seem to understand your language, but they seem to understand at least your intention. One of them sort of croaks up, "Ooh, alright," and they're pointing to the others in the group, besides you, Kiba.
All of you. Well, they seem to have understood my intentions. I think they mean for the rest of you to do something similar.
I have a solution, but it will take a few minutes.
Tell us.
I have a spell.
We need more than that.
It will let us communicate. Well, it will let me communicate with them, at least.
That would help quite a bit.
It will-
They're insistent as they're pointing to the others, besides Kiba.
Yarmos begins the painstaking process of removing everything that's dangerous on him, and putting it on the ground.
Look.
Parents will put down his staff as well, kind of getting the picture. I doubt they're going to give us any time to actually get that spell ready.
Fine. Giraffe puts down his weapons, though kind of having trouble putting down the bloodthirst he manages to.
Gaz sort of awkwardly gazes over his shoulder at his rather large backpack and just sighs as he takes it off.
As you guys lay down the weapons, the other two, sort of in the back here, sort of with spears still pointed, are ushering you forward into the village.
And I shall go. With a courteous bow.
Oh, if you're inviting us so politely already, may as well follow.
And as you guys are ushered into the center of the village here, it certainly continues to seem like nobody actually lives up here, as all the tents look like they are devoid of any life and, well, devoid of any use otherwise. However, Gaz, roll me a perception check real quick.
Goody.
Gaz, you notice something as you're walking by this bigger tent here. You look inside and you see what seems to be a prisoner of some sort. They have a vaguely humanoid shape, but too many legs. But that's all you can see from your brief glance.
Gaz whispers to the two who are right next to him. They're holding someone prisoner? Can't really see who or what it is, but you know.
I'm sure there's probably a good reason, and we might be joining them soon if we don't do this carefully.
They guide you guys over towards this hole here. Okay. You guys are compliant. Move to a new
Yeah.
scene.
Sure. I'm just curious.
Graf, as you're sizing them up, you could probably take all 6 of them at once. These boggards aren't some powerful creatures, at least compared to you. And as you guys are ushered... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Is there really anything point?
As you guys are ushered down that hole there, it's sort of this small dirt chute filled with roots and other things to allow for perhaps handholds to get back up it. As you're sort of pushed down it almost. It's a little bit hard for the larger members of the party for you, but eventually you make your way down into the sort of underway here. This sort of subterranean civilization, as you begin to realize. As there are many other boggards sort of making their life here, and sort of on these, almost rotten reed mats. They have all these sort of little gourds and other things they're, fiddling with, fletching and all of that. They all sort of give you a curious eye as the rest of those scouts sort of push you, or sort of follow down in suit here.
You know, they're probably taking us to that shaman or whatever, right?
Good. A chance to get a good look at this person up close ourselves. Make our own decisions.
Change the music. We're no longer in a place where there would be bugs. Well, probably not, because these frogs would eat them very quickly. So, as you guys find yourselves down here, a little bit dirty after that chute that you went down, they all sort of still have their spears pointed and usher you down this direction here. Ogre.
You think I could take all of them down?
Probably.
That's the question for the yeah. Oh wait, no, they
Without
can't
your
understand me. It's
weapons?
fine. Oh, maybe they have
As,
weapons.
as you guys are ushered into this room, it's got a little bit of a sort of hill to it itself. Sort of the center area is a little bit higher than all the rest, and you see out before you seems to be the throne room. There are 3 passageways that lead from this cavern here, and as you look up, there's a vaulted ceiling that rises about 15 feet to a leather flap leading outside, another one of those holes. A throne of wood, lashed together with leather and decorated with skulls, rests against the eastern wall, flanked by 2 braziers emitting a cold white light. And within that chair, you see one whom you can only assume is their shaman. There we go. Who have you brought? Speak your names. Speaking common.
Oh, wonderful. My name is Kiba.
I'm Giraffe.
Hello. Keep us entourage here. Yarmos here.
Gaz, businessman.
You can call me Parent.
Your words are strange. Your occupation's unknown. Why have you come here?
Because we have heard rumors that there is some sort of a trouble in the area. We, in the interests of not only keeping our own lands secure, we also wish to ensure that there are no problems among our neighbors that could potentially be a threat to them and to us. In other words, we're here for reasons of peace, you might say.
Peace. There is no peace in these swamps. Anything, anywhere, could spell your end as quickly as anything else. Your kind doesn't belong here if you seek peace. You will find it. Not here. But if this is what you truly wish to find, perhaps there is a way you can create it for us.
Are your people having some sort of a challenge, a difficulty that you might need assistance with overcoming? What is it that your people need?
We have recently found ourselves isolated. There are rumors and sightings among our people, credible sightings, that have made mention that Hooktongue no longer rests within their domain of the lake. that they now prey upon our people as they try to hunt and feed themselves. If these rumors are true, we wish for you, as perhaps a token of your peace, to slay that creature, so that it troubles us no more, and perhaps no more your kind as well.
What sort of a creature was this?
Hooktongue, this region's namesake, a powerful serpent of the waters, to consume few of our kind all at once with its massive size. You would best be prepared if you were to try and make some peace that we could never find ourselves here.
So where does this creature lair? Where does it come from, besides the lake? Do you know
Where does
where
it
it might be?
It's a very large lake.
Yes, it harbors itself near the center of the lake. There is a small atoll there, nothing more than a sandbar and few blades of grass that still cling to it. That is where it makes its home.
Do you have spare boats then to get out to the middle of the lake?
Boats? Our kind has no need for boats. Swim. And if you don't know how to swim here, then we are not sure why you have come.
I'm sure we can manage.
You must. Because if you return to this village without Hooktongue's tongue, then you are not welcome, and you will never find your peace with us.
Is it possible to get a general feeling of how the other boggards are reacting to their chief? Like, do they seem afraid of them, or?
Roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I think Yomoshi would like to try that too, as another not super active conversationalist.
Sure.
The boggard did mention that something was wrong here, so check it
Yeah.
out.
Terrence, you're definitely notice some perplexion from the other boggards, even those two guards by their chieftain's side, their shaman's side. What that is, you can't quite tell. Might need some more direct questioning. Yours too.
Do you mind if we talk to some of the other people here for more information?
You speak to me. There is something to ask. Many of my kin do not know your language.
I have ways of making them understand and them to understand me.
You would deny the question to the chieftain, and you would ask the followers a question. For what reason?
Does the chieftain know every single thing that occurs in this land? When anybody goes anywhere, do you know of it?
I do. If I do not, that is against our teachings.
So you have the gift of foresight, then? Or you can see.
No. They simply tell me everything.
What
Perhaps
do
you
your
should try
teachings
asking your
dictate?
question. Our teachings? Well, up until recently, we were servants of Gogunta, our patron god for our kind, for the demon lords of the abyss. But recently we found new faith within these swamps themselves, goddess of the swamp itself. One who promised protection for our people should we offer her proper respect and servitude.
What more can you tell us about them?
What more is there to say? They have power over the minds of people, over their very lives, should they not follow her properly.
You give Giraffe a curious look for a moment.
Is singing important to this goddess?
One can hear her voice sung upon the reeds, yes. Why? Have you heard her voice?
Word.
Oh, I see. Maybe in the distance.
He's gonna roll a perception check for his sentiment.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm realizing
This isn't what I was expecting.
that was, oh, I saw that. Oh no.
Make it a blind. Your tongues, they do not speak what is on them. Say what you are wanting to ask. You are curious about. You are hiding.
How exactly did this goddess of yours, how does she interact with you, with any of you? How long has it been since she has visited with any of you?
Her voice has not graced us within the past few days. It does not often grace us. Me, personally. But it will return again. To direct us. To offer aid. Or to demand aid from us.
And how exactly did you come to realize her divinity?
I was out within the bog. I found myself quickly alone. My compatriots leaving my side. And I heard that voice within the reeds singing. It drew me in, and I have found my faith within it. Why do you ask these questions? Have you met with the Lady of the Reeds?
We have, in fact.
And then you are her servants.
Acquaintances at this point, you might say.
All within the bog are her servants, and if you have met her, then you are her servants.
Or apparently
You
is
reject
now.
her divinity. Sorry, Barrett.
I was gonna ask, is there any like magic on him that Baron can feel from where he is with detect magic?
Not particularly, no. Well, again, remember, detect magic is a notable thing.
Yeah.
It's not hidden. So, but your best guess is nothing is going on with them. You would have to, of course, cast the spell, which is notable by other people, and they're going to ask questions.
Okay, in that case,
Yeah.
no.
That was kind of the point of some of my questions there, to kind of feel out what the state of his mind is right now, and I think he's himself.
What resulted of your meeting with her? What did she tell you?
I can't say she particularly told us anything, although we are still here in the Boglands, so...
Roll me a deception check.
Very well. I'm
Uh-oh.
good at this.
Yeah, no, we're not getting out of this.
This is bad.
Okay. Something is amiss with the way you speak of her. You will say what she had. You.
Hmm?
He's sort of trying to figure out something for a moment here. Perhaps then, if you will not speak clearly, we should keep you here to allow her to reorient your understanding. For if you
If
met
it's a
her
singer you want, I can sing even better than she can.
singing, why would I care for your singing when I have heard a goddess's? You think you are comparable to her? Is that what you are saying?
I'm saying I stand before you and she does not.
Then you are speaking blasphemy.
Why don't you hear me before you decide?
Roll me a diplomacy check.
What am I doing? Reroll.
Okay.
Side eye.
It was
Wasn't meant
fate.
to be. Okay, so
The gods ordained it. They're like, Kiba, don't do that, Kiba.
I feel as though you are not speaking clearly to us. You are hiding something, and we will make sure to extract it from you.
Then I'll speak it clearly. She attempted to slay us and failed.
What? See the sort of boggard already sort of a little bit like, sort of wide-eyed or sort of like side-eyed or whatever, sort of bulge out a little bit further with their eyes. You do not speak the truth.
We do speak the truth. There is a layer, sort of east-southeast or so. Isn't that correct?
That is
She
where I
keeps
heard her, yes.
She keeps a pair of very, very large humanoids as her servants.
Roll diplomacy check one final time. See if you can defuse the situation, and see if this will go somewhere better. So,
Like that one.
that is one above his will DC, actually. So,
Dang!
not dang, that is
No,
successful.
dang isn't like his will's
Oh,
DC is
yeah.
so high.
I knew I felt something strange a few days ago. It felt as though my mind was shifted, changed. If what you say is true, then she is no goddess. She can be slain by outsiders to this place. My mind is taken from me, no longer my own. Forced to forsake our people's god, Gugunta. What have I done?
You were tricked. You were ensorcelled.
This is what that kind of magic does. It was never your fault. None of this was your fault. But do you now understand what we mean?
I now understand. Perhaps then you are more friend than foe. But we still need Hooktongue's demise from you.
We are still willing.
Then perhaps we should return to the faith of Gugunta. For now we lack any patron god to protect us in this place as we always must have. Oh, then, slay Hooktongue so we can grant its tongue as an offering, so that we may be brought back into the four-eyed frog's good graces.
When we were coming in, we saw that there was a prisoner upstairs. Was that a recent prisoner or an old prisoner?
Ah, yes. That is a recent prisoner from the south. Those bog striders are few to find. They will make a fine offering to Gugunta.
What is a bog strider?
Roll me a society check. You remember that bog striders are almost these mythical creatures. This humans, or just humanoids in general, basically never have any sightings or relations with them. They're almost like a cryptid, like people don't even know if they actually do exist. They're these six-legged insectoid humanoids that live in the deepest parts of swamps, often alone, but can sometimes congregate in very small tribes, up to a dozen of them. And they always keep to themselves.
They caught a Bigfoot and they're sacrificing it to their gods.
Wouldn't you do the same if you caught Bigfoot?
So, would you normally sacrifice somebody like that to the gods?
Of course.
Okay.
The gods demand us to sacrifice more offerings to them than they offer to us in return their powers.
Staying out of this one.
Did the prisoner come here to fight you all, or
No,
what were they doing?
We captured them. They strayed close to our lands, and a few of the other scouts befell upon them. Such is the way of things. They are now to be offered up to the gods. Oh, God.
What?
You wish to be there for it. It is
It just seems
a wonderful ceremony.
it just seems a little demanding for a god to require this in exchange for their power. After
You
all,
question?
a god like well, I was just thinking a god like Siren Ray would offer her powers just for a belief, just for a bit of goodwill. No sacrifices needed.
I think maybe we should leave this one for the time being.
Roll me a religion check, Yarmos.
I am so curious how this one's going to turn out.
We get through one crisis. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Okay.
heck!
You mean to tell me that there are gods that do not require anything of their subjects?
Kiba's eyes just start going wide, like he can't believe what he's listening to.
Perhaps not nothing, but rather just uh, a standard of living, a a sort of goodness in the things you do as you go about your life, but certainly a lot
Goodness.
less than regular sacrifices.
We are not familiar with your definition, goodness. You will have to tell us more. But first, Hooktongue must die. It has plagued these lands for hundreds of years. And if you can slay a god, you can slay another.
That sounds fine with me.
I do like the
Yes.
sound of that.
Our talks of peace don't come as a jest. We'll see what we can do.
Very well. And do not return without their tongue. You are free to leave.
It has been a pleasure.
So, you guys head up?
Yep, I'm
Yep.
ready.
Okay.
Yep, let's get out of here.
Do they
Please.
do they fully escort us out of the village?
They escort you back to your weapons.
But they stay watching us, I assume.
Yeah, it seems the other boggards are still wary of you. Certainly.
I think we should look into that prisoner more when we can.
I
Perhaps,
do agree.
perhaps they could consider converting. Perhaps we could have them on the side of different, less bloodthirsty gods by the end of all this.
Possibly, but those creatures are solitary. I doubt it was up here for some nefarious reason, probably. And they're
In that legal knowledge,
sacrificing.
do box raiders have they're like humanoid intelligence, right? Like any other?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I feel like the two of us kind of have somewhat of an obligation here. Yeah.
Well, maybe they won't sacrifice the prisoner until we bring back Hooktongue's tongue.
Yeah, Yarmouthir certainly seemed to make some kind of an impact on them somehow.
Well, the light of Siren Ray will shine a path to all good things.
We could also additionally teach them about art and music.
That seems like a more productive use of time than making sacrifices.
A little bit, yes. And then perhaps round out the trio by teaching of Desna as well.
Perhaps.
Do we really need to spread religion everywhere?
It's not so much right now about spreading religion as it is about preventing innocent humanoid sacrifices.
That
If
makes
you
sense.
can call that humanoid?
If a centaur is a humanoid, then that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So how are we gonna find this thing? Do we just search around the whole entire swamp with the lake?
Well, there's a specific atoll that we're looking for.
Yes, they
Yeah.
told you that if you showed your maps and such, they told you it's sort of in this hex, sort of in the center of the lake.
It's really not far. Okay, then.
And the village of Imbo 2 that you were just in is also on the lake shore, so now might be a good time to decide how you're getting out there.
Do you happen to have a spell that lets you just walk on water, parent?
I was told lets you breathe in water.
Well, I suppose it could work if we could find a way, manage to get to the atoll before we start fighting.
We could find signs of its presence and track it from there.
I'm no expert,
Swims
but
in water.
tracking through water seems kind of difficult.
That's because it is.
Just look for footprints.
Isn't it like a giant? What did they say it was? Like a serpent or
Serpent.
something?
Serpent. Yeah.
We could try to lure it onto land.
That would be wise. I wouldn't want to fight it in the water.
Do you remember that this place, its lair, is an atoll of some sort out there, too?
So there will be some land.
But for the most part, it's its turf.
Just a matter of getting out there. So, what do you guys do?
Well, we could always create a boat and go out there.
I think we used that token. I don't think we had two of them.
Yeah, we used it.
I think
We
we
never
only
got
one.
another.
It just didn't get removed from the party inventory.
Well, if given the opportunity, I could build us a boat.
Well, wasn't the first one we did a feather token? We also have a marvelous miniature.
Yeah,
We
we
do.
definitely used a feather token
Yeah, we used it
So-
for
the first time.
What happened is you guys never did take out the boat one, and it turned into a marvelous miniature because of the remaster.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh no!
So
I
that
didn't
has
know
been
feather tokens
used.
were WOTC.
Remaster wasn't just OTC or whatever. Yeah,
Uh,
they changed a lot of other stuff just as an opportunity to make things more clear or whatever. But yeah, just gotta figure it out.
unfortunately, no marvelous miniature holly bushes.
Yeah, some of the tokens are not feather tokens, some are, strangely. So
What if we got our big explorer's yurt and turned it upside down? Kidding.
How about we just grab a bit of material and just build a boat?
Just how quickly can you build this boat?
I mean, it's just a simple boat. I can build this. I can probably just make that out of a single tree and give us an oar as well.
That's a canoe.
It's basically a boat.
So Parent thinks like 10 minutes and then casts this on the whole group.
okay.
Oh my.
You all feel this strange sort of feeling in each of your lungs as you breathe just as well on land as, well, perhaps on water. It doesn't feel as humid all of a sudden.
It's heightened to force, so it lasts until tomorrow.
That's impressive.
It
Are
would
we really
be-
going to be going out there in a log made by Gaz?
I've built us a boat before, and you didn't complain then.
I thought we
Yeah,
repaired
that's
a
a
boat.
point.
Same
If
thing,
we need
Derek.
to, I'm sure the five of us working together can come up with something. We have my rugged manly strength. We have the ingenuity of, well, I suppose of Gaz.
You suppose.
Can I do any sort of recall knowledge stuff to hear if I've heard anything about Hooktongue before?
Yeah. Roll me a... That would be a nature check.
Very good at nature. Very good. That is sarcasm.
Well, you actually have heard quite a bit. Surprisingly enough. Hooktongue is the namesake of the Hooktongue swamps for a reason. It has been around for hundreds of years. This great serpent of the waters here that is big enough to make it so that any boat travel along the lake here is just futile, really. It's been said to flip over big barges full of, trade and valuables, and nobody has really tried anything in this region since. Still seems to persist here, though there are certainly times where it seems like it goes into hibernation for a few years or so. Otherwise, there are rumors that it is a very, very fast creature, that if it wished to, it could zoom across its entire domain in less than an hour.
But at least we know how we're not going to get to the atoll.
Well, if it's attacking these boggards, then it has to be going to the shores at some point, right?
That makes sense to me.
But the boggards also swim amidst the swamp for whatever they do, hunting, I suppose.
You're probably right.
Instead of trying to chase this monster down, why don't you do the opposite? You bring it to us.
How do you plan to do that?
With bait, obviously.
Not it.
Not it.
I volunteered giraffe.
No. I don't like this idea.
Intriguing. What do you suppose they prefer to eat?
Given they've been hunting the boggards, probably something in that ballpark.
So, anything.
You imagine
Anything
just
with more mass, I imagine. More mass than a kobold.
Why don't we just go check out the shore over there, and then we can decide how we're going to approach this.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Very well, let's do that.
So, you guys make your way sort of through the afternoon here, along the shoreline here. A lot of it's sort of like sandy dunes and sort of grasses that are sort of clinging to the edge of the waters here. It's a big enough lake that it does have beaches, it seems. But as you're heading out here towards the shoreline, well, actually, I should roll some. Okay. Well, it's uneventful as you go along the shore.
Well, so who's going to be the bait?
Pants is a really good swimmer, I've seen.
I don't think swimming helps him much if he's probably getting swallowed in one bite.
What if instead we hunt something?
Actually,
They give sacrifices to it, don't they? Why don't we just set up one as a trap? Maybe put some poison in it.
They give
There's-
sacrifices to Gundaga, not to Hooktongue.
Right, they want us to kill Hooktongue. I don't think they would sacrifice things to something they want us to kill.
we do technically have something that could serve as bait, but I don't think any of you would agree to it at this point in time. If we dug up the giant that we buried, we could use their carcass.
The what?
That's messed up.
Oh, right, yeah, it's the marsh giant.
That is indeed very messed up.
Not that. I was thinking
Besides, it's
something
a-
more along the lines of a large animal.
Surely it's a hunter and not a scavenger, right? It will want a musty old corpse.
Do we know that?
It's, well, yeah, from Parents Roll, he could tell you that, It'll eat just about anything that's fleshy.
Instead of the giant, how about the siren or whatever?
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a
Let's use
giant
the siren.
dragonfly.
So we set up some bait, maybe put on some poison, maybe something that will make it easier to hit. Yarmos, you got anything like that? Ingested poisons.
Ingested poisons. All my ingested poisons are really low level, unfortunately.
Darn. Man, isn't this a rare case in which ingested poisons are really good? Or could be good, maybe. We don't know if he'll even fall for it.
I have something from the start of the campaign which I could use, question mark. What if I, quote unquote, season it with caltrops?
1d4
What, you're trying to give
piercing
him an
and 1
iron?
bleed.
Trying to give him an iron overdose?
Going to stuff a body with caltrops and
I can feed it a energy mutagen and it'll be weak to all the other elements.
You know what? How about we get a boat and go out there after all?
So no hunting.
Listen, Gaz wants to put caltrops in the thing's body. I don't.
Just ignore that part of it. Just get some kind of a large creature carcass.
who's gonna take some action?
If you're gonna go hunt, then
Yeah,
go hunt.
okay. I'm gonna see if I can hunt for something sizable enough for Hooktail to be interested in.
Roll me a survival check. Sorry, Parent?
I was saying Hooktongue, not
Oh, yeah.
Hooktail.
Shoot, I said Hooktail, didn't I?
I guess, yeah.
Did
I
I?
didn't catch it.
Oh, I love that. I
It's
love
such
Paper
a-
Mario.
Catchy name.
Guy sort of pouts on the side as his idea of using the leftover caltrops is swatted away.
Giraffe, as you're heading out into the swamp looking for something, it takes about an hour before you actually hunt down something big enough, an alligator. And
Just wrestle it. Yeah.
as you go up to try and wrestle it, unfortunately, the creature is wary of your attempt and slinks back into the water. Just an hour wasted, really. Not the best of a roll there.
Come on.
So you return empty-handed to the group after an hour. So if there's anything you guys wanted to do that was like time spending in that hour, you can tell me too.
I hate swamps.
Getting later in the day, about
Seems like
5
the
o'clock.
apex. That seems like the apex predator is a bit out of his depth.
Got to decide
No,
on something.
we should cast Awaken Animal on it.
Oh, that'll go well. Then it'll go through an existential crisis as to whether or not it should eat the buggards.
Unless it's evil, in which case we probably just encourage it more.
Anybody else have any ideas here?
I gave the best one I had.
I guess we're gonna go out there.
Okay. You still have the water breathing, but it would be a like a 3 mile swim, so you might
Think
end up
about it.
being fatigued if you don't succeed a fortitude save.
I think Gaz was gonna try to make like a flotation device of some sort.
Yeah, basically. Just something at least like good enough to get us
Sure.
across the water.
I can try to help with
Little arm
materials.
floaties.
Yeah, roll me a crafting check. Cuba, you can aid with an sorry, how are you gonna aid?
Help with gathering materials or something.
Oh yeah, you can do athletics. Anything you think would be appropriate to aid.
Yarmos here would like to, I guess, be a assistant crafter.
Mm. Yeah, you can all aid. Just only like the best roll gets applied.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, there you go.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
No.
Well,
No.
in under an hour, Gaz finds the perfect trees to make sort of this really sturdy raft that also is, has a little canopy on top to keep the sun away, and he added a lot of extras to it.
Yo, you got cup holders on this thing?
It's not my best work, but it'll do for us.
It's like, lacquered down. He took out all the carpentry tools he has, and yeah, it's like a cabana on the water.
Yo, it's got a shag carpet? Nice. Like, terrible choice for the environment, but still nice.
You had no idea how versatile moss can be.
So,
Did you make sure? Did you make sure to sort the moss by taste?
I sorted it by color.
well, jokes. So, as you guys get onto the raft here and start heading out on the water, I assume directly for the island?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you guys are making your way out there, the winds start to begin to pick up as they're sort of like guided across the waters by the sort of evaporation of the moisture. I think that's how it works. I'm not a meteorologist, but it's colder, it's more blustery, and, well, you do eventually see what seems to be just a bit of grass on some sand. It's an atoll out here, but it's not a big one. You doubt it's, has even a few more years in it due to erosion or whatever. But, you do eventually make your way over to it, sort of in the evening time here. And you're all a little bit tired from your efforts of the day, but not affecting you just yet, of course. I'll move you over. Alright, let's change the audio. No more.
It ate all the birds?
Well,
What a glutton.
guess I'm out.
Sorry, Kiba. I didn't mean to say so.
So, with the waters sort of all around, sort of sloshing against this island here, the whole lake itself is not very sort of tumultuous at all, really. It doesn't really have waves or that much. You find your way here, and, well, it is later in the day, so let me make the adjustment to... Oh. It is yours to explore at the time being, to search for this monstrous creature that you've spent the better part of this day searching for.
This is quite a nice atoll.
Light myself up.
You want to live here or something?
No, it's in the middle of a swamp. Francis is gonna try to take a peek into the water and stuff as they're going around the island.
Okay. Well, Parent, roll me a perception check for me. As you're looking at the waters, you notice that, you notice that there seems to be quite a few broken pieces of wood sort of floating around in it, planks, sort of stuff caught up in this sort of thick mat of kelp on the inside of this island here. But you also notice that, there seems to be a larger barge sort of at the center of it, underneath all of that as well.
Like underwater.
Underwater, yeah.
Oh, there's definitely some sunken stuff in the middle there. There's a really big boat of some sort in there. Underwater. Could be a potential hiding place, maybe.
You guys are considering things, looking out on the waters here. There is something that shifts in the waters themselves. It's almost as if the kelp down there is being moved by something completely invisible, like these invisible currents just washing their way through them. And it is not long before that figure, that invisible current, becomes closer and closer before you see, as if just apparating out of the water itself, as it rises up out of the water, causing this big wave around itself, this massive serpentine, black horn crowned figure with a very hooked tongue sort of emerges from the water there. As you guys are sort of stepping back, it sort of leers there for a moment, considering its next meal.
Is that really, really fast as it happens, or do I have time to react with some kind of a preparatory action?
No preparatory action, maybe a few steps back, but that's
I'm
it.
Sorry, but I saw this in the first scene. I thought this is someone's DeviantArt character because the colors. I didn't
Oh, yeah, the
expect it to be
blue
so
and the-
colorful.
Mm-hmm. It's got a mohawk too. So,
Very stylish.
I need your
This is it now.
initiatives. As it rises out of the water here, sort of roars out and flays that sort of almost like a flail, that hooked tongue that it is named after.
That's both of my rolls this session being 20s. Wonderful.
There we
Go
go.
back to my regular poor rolls.
Here it is in full.
Awesome.
It is actually really cool art.
Mm-hmm. So, as it rises out of the water, oh wait, no, I didn't actually roll its initiative. It's always, it's at the back of the initiative. No, I need to roll the initiative. There we go. All right. You rolled a natural 1, but it's still ahead of the vast majority of you. I should be rolling in public. There we go. But because it's sort of almost just considering its meal, almost as if it doesn't even need to worry at all about fighting and how it needs to consume its meal. Sort of like the mechanics of it, it just eats. Doesn't even have to think. It's actually a little bit slow right now. Which means Yarmosir and Parenth might be able to do something before it actually strikes. So what do you
Cast
do?
slow on it.
Lol.
Remember, is going to open up with a trying to recall knowledge, or at least trying to, I guess, more accurately in this case, and watch it closely and how it moves and see what it can do.
Of course,
possibly.
yeah. Roll me a nature check. Well, alright. So, that is your third natural 20.
Ah,
So,
Uh.
what two things do you want to know about this creature as you're all of a sudden just... your mind flashes with this brilliant insight about it?
any special abilities and lowest save.
So, its lowest save is going to be its will save. It doesn't ever really need to be strong of will, it's just fast and, bulky, sturdy. As for special abilities, you realize that you see some poison glands in its maw. It probably is able to spit poison in a straight line.
Oh
breath
boy.
weapon.
Breath weapon poison. Alright, in that case, Yarmos here should be safe to stride over to here, assuming that's like somewhere I can actually stand.
Yes, you can. Just keep in mind that if you are beyond like the halfway point of the stuff here, it'll cause like cover issues and sightline issues and stuff. But you can walk into it.
Gotcha. Alright, so it's like difficult terrain, I imagine, but otherwise, Yarmos here is going to feed one energy mutagen to Giraffe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Electric, so he likes it. Lightning damage,
They're sort of
whichever.
sparking a little bit with that lightning. I think that'll be your turn.
Yep, that's it for Yarmos' turn.
Parenth, over to you.
Aranth is going to use Reach Spell
Mm-hmm.
and Laughing Fit.
Okay, well, getting some use out of that second level spell slot, much to my chagrin. It actually is going to succeed, of course, but not critically, so it still can't use any sorts of reactions in its, attempts against you guys.
something. That's all 3 actions.
Strange, guttural sort of chortling comes from its maw there as its hooked tongue flails out. It's not going to stop it as it sort of realizes it needs to actually do something here to get its meal. It is going to, from here, is going to move to about here. And as it does so, it is going to sort of extending its body in this serpentine form, sort of snap out straight towards Giraffe with its jaws. With that, it easily critically strikes you for 44 total.
Oh.
As the creature this region is named after, it's not going to be easy to defend yourself against, as you take 72 points of damage. And as it sort of bites down into you, it is also going to use the grab action, get a hold of you. So it needs to make a grapple check nowadays.
Oh no.
8 on the dice, total of 36 against your fortitude DC of 31. It does succeed, but not critically, so you're only grabbed by it as it's sort of lifting you up off the ground in its jaws, flailing you around, but for the purpose of it, you're still in the same spot, of course. That being said, that's his turn. So, Iba, what's your plan?
All right. Well, I'll open up with a nice long song.
Long song.
Hopefully long.
Long
song for the long boy.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That is a success. So, you can give yourself the aura for it, did it? Oh, yes, it did.
I guess-
Your
oh,
buffs aren't
I
showing
just
for me
accidentally-
for some reason.
I messed up here. Let me fix. Okay, clear the bottom one.
You're good now. Yeah.
Got it fixed. Perfect. And the rest of the turn, I'm going to spend unfurling my wings.
Okay. Soaring flight. As you have finally sort of figured out a way to mix your armor and fighting style with this ability to fly, your wings sort of fluff it out. Fluff it, if that's a word.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
So, now your ability to fly up to the creature, closing the gap certainly for you. Giraffe, you've got a different story as you're sort of grasped in its jaws. What do you do?
I assume I couldn't just attack the
For the
ton or
purpose
the
of it,
jaws.
You can strike at the creature while it's in its jaws because it's, well, it's literally, you're in its jaws.
Okay,
right?
cool. I was worried about that, so I'm going to double slice.
Okay.
It's well, it's weak from the inside.
So,
Erupt your valley, yeah.
cleave into the creature here. 14 on the dice will be a hit. As you slice in, a little bit of electricity courses over
And
it.
it comes with this.
Ah, yes, and the warp wobble.
Oh, will save.
Okay, it rolled a natural 1. It is all of a sudden, you see its body sort of wobbling and shaking around as all of a sudden its nervous system fails it. It's going to treat everything as greater difficult terrain, as long as that's going on.
Cool. And that was the first attack. Now for the second.
Another slice and another very good hit. This is actually going to be a critical strike against it.
Oh, I
Rolls
needed this.
not failure
Just
right
fighter
now.
things.
Crushing into it with the bloodthirst. Takes another hefty blow. And you take a little bit back for the bleeding. Right, I need to add 1d8 bleed to it. It does succeed on that poison though. It seems much more formidable
Makes sense.
than it is sort of like strong of will.
For my last action, I'm going to parry to reduce the chances of getting crit.
Okay. So, as you try to sort of hold yourself up in a defensive stance while you're being sort of grasped in its jaws, we go to Gaz here.
Well, same thing as per usual. I will start out with an overdrive.
Alright. Sure not to get sand in the gears and all that. Let's see if it's working for you. It is not at this moment.
I will hero point that.
Okay. Alright,
Oh,
well,
no.
at least we take the higher, so it's only going to be a regular failure. You'll be able to try it next turn, but right now, the gears are sort of like full of sand and having trouble getting going.
That is unfortunate. That kind of cripples me a lot. I will spend the rest of my actions to instead fire up an electric blast and just use a mega bolt.
Okay. So,
It's a 20-foot line.
charge shot out towards it. Let's see, reflex. It was a 4 on the dice, but it still succeeds. It's still fast enough to avoid the worst of it. Take 12 damage, or actually half of that, of course. There we go. It is something.
Better than nothing.
Yarmos, over to you.
Overseer first empties his hand by trying to strike it with his skunk bomb.
Mm-hmm. Got this concoction here. You throw it off, but
I'll reroll that.
okay.
I didn't refill my hero points. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Here you go.
And this time, sort of as you sort of reconsider your trajectory, there we go.
Victory.
At the last moment there, you sling it off there, and it does definitely hit into it. So roll the damage. Oh, and yes, I will roll fortitude as well, which it still succeeds, as it's a big creature and it's going to have a lot of fortitude.
It's okay, because that still gets me a second one on it.
Actually, yeah, correct. That's slowed. It's slowed on it. Damage. And sicken, there we go. Sort of like inhale some of the fumes of that sickening bomb there. Alright.
Yarmosir then finishes off the rest of his turn by valuing to his hands another energy mutagen and a elixir of life, and he feeds the elixir of life to Giraffe while he is in the maw.
Alright.
Let's take it as him having some really good aim.
This is being
With,
flung yeah, as he's being flung around, you find the right time to just get him to imbibe it really quickly, I guess. 31.
Thank you.
Giraffe.
I don't know how you did that, but thank you.
So, with that,
Take up tricks of the trade after dealing with this for so long.
you go to Perith.
I'm going to cast. I'm going to use Reach Spell, and I'm going to cast Commands on it
Alright.
to drop Giraffe.
Drop it.
Bad Hooktongue. Drop it.
It does succeed, though. It just sort of shakes its head at you as it flails Giraffe around in its jaws. It's not taking your command.
You know what? It's fine. That's my turn.
Okay. You have one more action, so.
I do. Yes. No, I had to use. Oh, it did move closer.
Mhm.
In that case, let's see. I'll just cast Shield. I don't have very many good one-action abilities.
Okay. Shield goes up just in case you were to be struck by anything. As we go to Hooktongue's turn, it's still flailing Giraffe around in its jaws, but at this point you see it sort of rear its head back as it begins to swallow Giraffe whole.
Oh, come on.
It's going to make an athletics check against your reflex DC, which it does critically succeed.
What?
So it's going to deal double damage as just you get hit by all the jaws and teeth as it swallows you down. So take double this amount here.
Very lucky roll.
As Giraffe, you are swallowed, so that means you are slowed. You are flat-footed, but doesn't really matter. And you are technically still grabbed as you're inside the stomach of the thing. And you also must hold your breath. So your
Oh.
breath amount is 5 plus your con mod, so 9. That's 9 rounds you have. But remember, anytime you strike, that reduces that rounds by 1 as well.
Just gotta hit the rupture value, don't
Fun.
worry.
But as you're inside of it as well, you may strike on the inside of it as long as the weapon you're using is a light bulk weapon.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Otherwise, as you are swallowed whole, Hooktongue, to the rest of you, looks out and will immediately look towards Yarmsir, sort of poking their head out from the bushes there, and sling its hooked tongue out towards you. And as it does so, sort of like a whip, a flail, sort of careening towards you, it does easily strike in pretty nastily. And as those barbs strike across your side, I need a fortitude save. Seems there's some sort of poison within.
We call this irony.
32 against the DC of the poison. Let me check it real quick. What is that? That is 1 below the DC. You are poisoned.
Uh,
So you take an extra
wonderful.
10 poison damage and are clumsy 1 for the moment. Let me put this out to chat for myself so I can hidden thing on you so you don't know exactly what it will do in the future. There we go. Right. Can you see that on yourself? Can you like hover over it or no? It has a buff.
Yeah, I can. I can,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Let me see if do I need to like hold shift while I do that or alt? Yes, I need to hold alt. Okay. So, now you shouldn't be able to see it, and it's there for my reference. Alright. Third action. It's going to do much the same thing, seeking to spread this poison about, and perhaps lash back at Parenth. It's going to make another strike. Yes, it does have 25 feet of distance on this hooked tongue here. Sorry, that should have been public. I will make sure the stream looks correct. There we go. And yes, that is a crit against you, Parenth, as well, even with about 4. Take another. Why is it? I forgot to turn. There we go. 46 damage to you, Parenth. Is that the stream? There we go. Okay. I need a fortitude save from you, Parenth. Parenth, you are actually able to resist the effects of this poison. Seeing what happened to Yarmsir, and he calls out sort of for danger of that poison, you sort of make sure that those barbs don't get into your scales as much. So that'll be its turn. Iba, over to you.
I'm gonna swoop in there and give a couple of the best strikes I can possibly do with my glaive.
Okay. His rings puff out. You sort of go up to its face, trying to slice into it there. How high would you go?
I don't need to go high, honestly. I'm probably just 5 feet up or something trivial.
Sounds good.
I'm just trying to not be fighting in the water.
Right.
Besides, like, even if I tried to fly high, it'd just shoot me anyway. Like, I've already seen his range.
It's the tongue gun.
Yeah. I just need to be able to fight freely while be within objection range of most of my allies.
Yep.
All right. My sheet. I'm redoing that one.
Okay. 0 points for it. Realize at this point, probably need to use them, probably need to push yourself. That'll be a hit. Roll the damage.
Also going to be another dose of this.
Alrighty. Another dose. It may even increase it further, forcing it to balance itself better, but this time that is going to be a very good success on its part against that poison.
At least it's not against the save of the other application.
When did... Oh, it's Giraffe's turn that I rolled.
Yeah, Giraffe's turn.
mhm.
19 from me. I take it it's not very affected by fire.
It does seem that the flames don't lick upon its sort of wet scales as easily, yes.
Noted. All right. Follow-up.
18.
cool.
A hit as well. The massive size of this creature makes it a little bit easier, surprisingly, to strike into it. 18 more damage, a little bit less, of course, because of the flame resistance.
As
That's my turn.
Kiba slashes in,
Prime Dragon Brile.
I like this.
Damage.
nope.
Yeah. You try to sort of like spit this bile into the wounds that it just took, but it doesn't succeed.
That would have been so cool.
Still, Kiba. You slashes along its side as you're flying around it there.
Yep, that's 3 turns.
Giraffe, very different environment for you. You can't really see inside of here, but you know you've been, swallowed by this creature. What do you do here?
Oh, this sucks. This is. I'm going to stab it.
Okay. Well, you do have that bloodthirst.
I'm gonna go with.
First strike. It's going to be a hit. So there is a rupture value. You must meet that value within, the turn that it is. Otherwise, it sort of resets, right? So you've dealt
Got it.
13 so far.
I'm gonna make another attack then with my other action.
Okay. That is going to be a hit as well. As you are striking and dicing into this thing. 20 plus 13 is 33. Its rupture value is actually 28. So,
Oh.
you put enough energy and oomph into this and slice into the same spot in its stomach, enough that you find yourself carving out towards the light and falling into the water nearby.
New strategy unlocked.
Trying to get swallowed again.
What? Why?
Does that look like it hurt a lot? Do it.
I'm not sure it hurt any more than any other attack.
So, you were still slowed at the start of your turn, so you're sort of collecting yourself as you jump into the sort of waist-deep water right here. That'll be your turn.
That was terrible.
Yes.
Another attempt at an overdrive.
Alrighty. 7 on the dice will be enough.
Goodness. He will step up closer to Yamus
Mhm.
and strike with his final action.
You have 15 foot of reach?
No, that is in fact.
Yeah.
No, I do not. Step in that
There we
direction
go.
in that case. And then strike.
Alrighty. And that, because, well, I still had the off guard on it because Giraffe's strikes are off, or it's off guard while Giraffe's striking from the inside. That is a hit, though, certainly. Though it's putting all the green stuff there for a crit, but it wasn't actually. By the way, 16, only in.
Alright, that's my turn.
Alrighty. As everything starts getting going for you, Yarmus here. Your turn. We aren't hearing you, Yarmus.
Sorry about that. Yarmasir takes it one step forward and feeds another energy regen. This time 2 gas.
Okay.
Electric still.
No coming.
And he's gonna volley to his hands 2 elixirs of life. That's it for his turn.
Alrighty. With those bottles in hand, we go to Parith.
I'm going to delay my turn until after Hooktongue.
Okay. So, let's go to Hooktongue's turn. As we do, I do need a fortitude save from Yarmasir for the poison that still courses through.
Right, we also need one from Hook
Oh, yes.
for
Very
the
good.
warp bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hooktongue should have made a fortitude save against the poison that was me.
A will save there. Which I do believe he failed that will save again for the warp wobble. So, I
Now
believe...
it's on a.
Yeah, put it out to chat for us again. So we know what the third stage is. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever it tries to move, it has to try to balance. Luckily, it's not moving right now, so...
Yeah.
That being said, fortitude saves 30 there, Yarmasir. As the poison is affecting you from Hooktongue, you all of a sudden sort of also feel wobbly and confused. Your sort of nerves are getting to the better of you. Yes, you gain the confused condition and take the second stage of damage there, so 12.
Oh no, my petard.
You can't tell friend from foe, sort of your senses are getting the better of you. You might just lash out in any direction. We'll see. So, on Hooktongue's turn, they're going to snap up at Kiba as they are flying around their head there, and will hit.
Just hit.
And with that, Kiba, you take 27 points of damage. It will then try to grab you in the jaws there. So athletics check, which I believe would succeed against you as well.
Yep.
And then tries to swallow you whole. I'm going to make another athletics check here, as it focuses entirely on this foe that it has above its head. Where's my check? There it is. It is able to swallow you down, but not critically, so you take this damage.
See you later, everybody.
As you fall into the gullet of the beast, you are grabbed, slowed, and you have to hold your breath. So it's 5 plus your constitution modifier, and you know all the rules there. So, being said, that is all that it can do in its turn. So, Parith, we go to you.
That didn't go quite like I thought it would. I am going to cast Phantasmal Killer on it.
Okay.
It's gonna be hilarious if this works.
That its mind is weak. So let's see if it is weak enough here. This is only a success, not a critical, so it'll take half damage from it.
It takes 4d6. Yes, I have.
What is it even afraid of?
Bigger
Its
fish.
mother.
Bigger fish.
Some sort of other fish that it suddenly sort of is aware of and gains some fear of, but
It is
Yeah.
still frightened one though.
okay, yeah. Should help things. Anything else, Parith?
So that one action. Let's see. That's really it for now.
Okay. So, go over to Kiba, who suddenly found themselves inside the belly of the beast. You hear?
Find that door I made.
Alright. So, what can I do?
So, essentially, if you want to strike from within inside of it, you can use a light bulk weapon. Do so. Or, you can attempt a usual escape action.
I would probably do better with a regular escape action.
Okay.
The alternative is my beak.
Oh, you're right, yeah. Sort of opening the giraffe cut through, it seems to have closed up pretty quickly. But it's, I don't know, it's metabolism or something, I forget what it's called. But yeah.
Alright, what should I roll for an escape?
Remember, it's always athletics, acrobatics, or unarmed attack modifier, whichever is higher for you.
What is my unarmed attack modifier? It looks like it's in same as my athletics, so let's do athletics.
Try to sort of use your brute strength to pull yourself out from its
I'm gonna try. I'm not sure 33. No, 33 is not. I needed like a 35. Wait,
So
I don't know.
Your attempt to escape is against its athletics DC. And that is not enough there.
Yeah, I do wanna. I do wanna re-roll it.
Go for it. And unfortunately, try as you might to just pull yourself free from it. You're not able to do so with that action. You have one more.
One more action.
Yes, because you're slowed as you're inside of the beast.
Slowed. Okay. And is escape action? Does that affect my breath?
That is actually a good question. My keyboard is sounding off, but anyway. Drowning in suffocation. Alright. So, reduce from anyone 2 if you attack or cast any spells that turn. You also lose 1 air when you critically fail. Yes, damaging effect. Okay, no, it doesn't actually cause you any trouble with that.
Ah, but you said if I cast a spell.
Casting a spell does, yes, if it's a verbal component spell.
Ooh, if it's a verbal component.
Or rather, I don't know what it means nowadays because they've taken those away. Anything that's a 2-action spell would cause problems. But if it's lay on hands, you're good.
Lay on hands doesn't. So it'd probably be fine.
Yeah, lay on hands is fine.
Alright, I'm gonna bide my time, lay on hands, and reset my attack penalty.
Okay. Realizing you're not getting anywhere right now, you look for another opportunity. You're able to do a little lay on hands there. Heal. You do have to roll a DC 5 flat check because you're grabbed at the moment. It's more difficult to cast. You're able to do so.
Yes.
So, with that, we go on to the one who has escaped from its maw, Giraffe. What do you do?
Double slice. That's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Stab it.
Waist
Well,
deep in the water
slice.
here. Splashing this water all over you. You're very wet. But because of the frightened on it, it's just distracted enough that you see an opening just right up to its belly. That's a critical strike.
Thank you, parent.
So, with that, 42 points of damage. Just courses through it with some electricity there. It's looking
And,
badly hurt at this point.
Need a fortitude save against it being deafened. I don't know if that will do anything. I doubt it, honestly.
DC is 24 right now. Even with the 5 on the dice, he succeeds by +7. So,
Yeah, I figured.
yeah. Still there for the damage, though. And an 8 on the dice. This one will hit. So, taking another 18 off of it. As it's still flailing around, biting and slinging that tongue out. That'll be 2 of your actions.
And then I'm gonna parry for my last.
Okay.
Hold my ground.
Holding your ground there. Yes, over to you.
Well then, I will first up do some battle medicine for Yarmus.
Okay.
Yoink.
Pretty good battle medicine. 27 in total. Heal.
I will then I will roll for another overdrive. May as well.
Okay.
It's taking me a
Yarmo screams as an unknown figure comes to perform surgery on him.
Your confusion somehow, Gaz, you're able to sort of like, hey, stop, just let me help you, you know, that sort of thing. And yeah,
Actually, I inflicted damage to him. Does that like work for getting the confusion off of him?
that's a good question actually. So you don't have to. Each time you take damage from an attack or spell, you can attempt a flat check. It's not an attack or a spell, unfortunately.
And it's part of a poison, so I don't know how that affects things.
Well, it doesn't affect anything. It's the
Oh.
confusion effect that can be momentarily removed, I would say, like, until it's reapplied by another, like, round of the affliction.
That makes sense.
So, what was that crafting check for gas, right?
Trying to fish for a crit overdrive, basically.
Okay, yeah. Try to, get things going, but not there. Okay.
I still have
Oh,
one
yeah,
more
yeah,
action,
you do,
which I will use to attack.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Punch and a hit. Roll the damage. As you crack over towards it, it's barely holding on. But nothing's going to stop it from its next series of attacks as Yarmus here. I need you to attack Gaz
Oh no.
with...
Oh boy.
what I will say will be
Healing potion. Throw a healing potion in his face.
it'll be your unarmed attacks.
Oh, okay. Well, Yarmasier is going
no,
to first
gas.
throw away his healing potions as free actions because we're in remaster, and then he's going to savagely claw at his attending nurse.
Missed by 1 because you're clumsy. 2 from the poison.
Oh man.
Stumble forward, like thinking that there's some monster in front of you.
Too
Uh,
funny.
he's going to spend his second action using his another unarmed attack because he's still right in range.
Mm-hmm. Going to certainly miss.
And
Futile
his third.
series of strikes, but it's sort of forced upon you from this overtaking of your nervous system by the poison. So, nothing really happening there, but see if you can actually get rid of it as we go to Hooktongue's turn. Roll me a fortitude save, Yarmasier.
Sure.
Alright, 33 is, I believe, let me look, the DC. So you've reduced it by 1 stage, you are no longer confused. You only take the 2d6. So 3 damage. Now, on to Hooktongue's turn. After having swallowed 1 meal, it's going to see about taking out who was most threatening right now, which is Giraffe. So Jaws just slammed down towards Giraffe with your guards or weapons crossed. You just have no way to stop them. As it crunches down into you for 82 points of damage. Raph,
I'm still standing.
as it sort of pulls back, somehow you are still up, but then it just lashes its tongue down towards you. Which will be
Gave
a
us a
hit. not a crit.
objection.
Sorry?
Gamer's objection is only when he can see both targets, right?
Yes, has to have a line of effect.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Giraffe.
I was thinking about that.
Tongue slices into you as you sort of reel from the first strike. You fall unconscious in the water there. And I also need a fortitude save for the poison effect. Luckily that wasn't a crit, so you're only at dying 1. Win parry and natural 20. Your body is battle hardened. You're not even going to be bothered with that poison. But as it sort of rears back up, it's it's seeing a chance. It's gonna go for the next sort of most damaging person with another tongue strike. Gaz slices towards you. You will be hit with the amount of 28 there. I also need a fortitude save.
Unfortunately, since you weren't swallowed, I won't be able to heal you.
11 on the dice, 28 means you do take the 2d6 and clumsy 1 as well. So 7 damage there and clumsy. There it is. But that's it. That's all it can do for this turn. Begins or continues to bleed a little bit from Bloodthirst's bleeding there. 4 damage. Aerith, what do you do?
Alright, I'm gonna cast a Chromatic Ray at it.
Blaster time.
That's been going so well for me so far.
It's still sickened, so reduces his AC by 1, and it doesn't really have a lot of AC this one. This one's all about just killing you guys quickly. And it's a hit. So roll a d4, let's see what kind of ray comes out. A 1. That is the fire one. Perhaps not the best, but it is still 31 fire damage. Gracious Anthematic onto it. Even though it is a creature of the water, and it's very resistant to fire, still enough of the flames sear into its flesh here, begins to sort of shudder from all the damage it's taken, the bleeding, the wounds, before sort of roaring out one last time before slamming down onto the sand. It is dead, pretty much exactly from that strike.
Awesome.
It had 15 resistance to fire, so
Oh.
very close to not doing it. But Kiva, you feel sort of a thud as all of a sudden water's rushing into its maw. You're able to sort of swim out.
Ooh. Good news about the water.
Yeah, well, you can breathe the disgusting inside water.
Yes.
Which actually means you guys, I shouldn't even have told you guys that you're struggling to breathe because it's, I don't know if you can breathe stomach bile, but that's a discussion for another time.
It's still like it's still
Probably
like
not.
difficult for air and stuff in here.
Yeah, you're probably
general?
sort of being squeezed and stuff. And yeah. So, as the creature falls, Keeper, you also sort of get your way out. Giraffe is wounded, but you have first aid coming.
I battle medicine without a risky surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, just treatment, not battle medicine.
Yarmos here, why were you slapping Gaz like that?
That was Gaz.
Here, have one of mine too.
Poisons you guys were suffering sort of run their course. They could never really reach you guys. At least out of combat.
I didn't know that was Gaz.
What did you think it was?
Well, I don't know. I thought a bear was performing surgery on me.
At...
Ow.
Are you okay, Giraffe?
Mostly. Ah. That wasn't as bad as a siren. Still sucked.
You almost got eaten alive, are you sure?
What do you mean almost? I was.
I mean, you came out, you're fine.
I got better. Ugh.
I turn my glaive into a big axe. And I go for this thing's head.
Okay. Takes a few
think-
chops. But you do separate head from body. Though it's a very, very big head. So
It sure is.
stands as tall as you are.
We'll figure it out.
I thought
More
they
or
just
less
wanted the
bulky on a
tongue.
rock egg.
Did it just want the tongue?
Yeah.
Well, now that the head's off, it should be easier to take the tongue off as well. Please
Wow.
agree with me.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. Now that the water is probably safe, Ernst is going to go check out that overturned boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once we have the tongue, I'm gonna go take a bath.
Well, there's plenty of water around us.
And it's kind of not great water, though. Swamp water.
Better than the inside of that thing.
As you guys have a look around in the water here, sort of in the kelp forest almost that's in the center of the island, you do eventually find a large barge that seems to contain a watertight chest deep within its bowels. You're able to sort of work together to pull out onto land here. And within, there's a gleaming set of armor. The chain sort of almost reflects against the rising moon at this point in the day. I know it says +1, but it's actually a +2 resilience. There we go. Also find some armbands of athleticism within as well. A lot of gold, platinum, the gold value worth 800 gold pieces inside, as well as magic wand of cleansing affliction, and a sturdy minor shield.
Kind of really want to use that shield, but on the other hand, I need my other hand free so I can do my shenanigans.
This is some fancy stuff.
It's beautiful.
I'll say. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Is anybody else gonna want the armbands?
Don't think
Probably more
so.
important for you than they are for me. Say that.
I will take them. And they will replace my lifting belt.
Any of you good with light armor?
doing the math on it.
+2 armor with a 3 dex mod cap. So if you have +3 dex, it's perfect.
I've got +4, and I already have a +3 AC armor, fortunately.
Armor do you have actually? You have studded leather. So that is same thing, except I think this would give you 1 more AC because it's +2 instead of +1.
Ah, it said that letters has a +3 AC bonus.
Well, it's the same. They're both the same, effectively, right now, like without runes. But because the Moonlit Chain has a +2 armor rune on it, it's more. It's 1 more AC for you.
Right. May as well.
If nobody else.
Also, this
should-
will effectively make me completely no longer a viable stealth person.
Maybe that's for the best. Maybe I should.
I will grab the shield for now.
Oh, okay.
No, my AC is dropping when I put it on.
No, you didn't invest to it there.
Oh, right.
Then
Right,
it'll,
that's how it worked.
Right,
Right, that's how it... Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Take the
Give-
money, of course. Oh.
Yeah, money into the party inventory. Give yourselves 200 experience points for an extreme encounter.
Oh.
Hmm.
Imagine how badly that could go with poison that causes confusion and
Oh, yeah.
swallowing and yes.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping to get to explore the swamp more, but I guess we're probably done.
All we do is explore on the way home.
Eba, you should be at 560.
Yep.
Alright, so, with the loot ill-gotten by this creature, old stuff, certainly, like those coins are from nations that don't even exist anymore. Some of it Mendevian, even. Well, Mendev still exists, but before the Crusade, maybe, we'll say. What did you say? That is it here. It's gotten late in the day. Do you guys want to head back to shore from here, or just rest on the island? I doubt anything's gonna come around here.
There's less bugs out here. Maybe we should just stay here for the night.
Surely Hooktongue doesn't have, like, a maid or anything, right?
I don't want to meet whatever would mate with a Hooktongue.
I'm sad you guys didn't let me cast Awaken Animal on it. It would have been interesting.
That would have been awkward.
Would have been difficult.
The tents are set out, sleeping bags rolled up or rolled out, and maybe a campfire set up of what twigs and things you could find amongst the island's brushy sort of grasses here. Nothing occurs in the night. Morning arises. More.
Well, shall we go back and tell them the good news?
That's right. We'll take this tongue with as a trophy for them.
I mean, we did good for killing this thing, probably, but I'm somewhat concerned about this ritual they're going to be performing, or this sacrifice, and the prisoner. We should probably figure out something before we go back.
That's fair.
Any of you care if this prisoner gets sacrificed?
I certainly care.
Don't worry, we care. We're just thinking.
I
Certainly a conundrum.
I feel a personal duty to prevent the slaughter of an innocent, if I can reasonably do something about it.
If they are innocent, anyways.
Kiba, you imagine even if they weren't innocent, allowing the sacrifice of someone to a demon lord is not in Shaman's
Yeah.
book.
Yeah,
Guntagar is a demon lord.
Gugunta is a demon lord, yes, of the
Gunta-
abyss.
Oh yeah,
like it's
that's
one
bad.
thing if one it's one thing if we try enough and we don't accomplish anything. It's another if we just like walk away and say this isn't my problem. Like, yeah.
Right.
Or if we look at the situation and it's very, very clearly unfeasible to even attempt it, that's totally,
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to see a dragon flying above your town and be like, I have to kill
Yeah.
that dragon.
Yeah. But in a situation like this, we should probably at least make some kind of an attempt to keep this guy from being sacrificed. Especially if we can do it without bloodshed. Ooh.
Well, if there is bloodshed, just remember there's a lot of boggards, but
There's
there's a lot
also
in numbers, but not really maybe in power. You'd be dealing
there's
with a
also an
lot of fodder.
entire long man that we just slew.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention, we have Fireball.
Oh, okay, but maybe we try the other approaches before the fireball.
Keep Fireball in your back pocket, just in case.
I do like the idea of introducing these other gods as a possibility. I like the idea of introducing the concept of art and music as a way to praise their deities as opposed to slaying people.
Following the light, of course, right?
This time I'm going to be prepared, Kiba. I'm gonna let you speak to anybody there you want to.
There's also the perhaps slay monster angle.
You did just kill their biggest fear, right? So, what chance do they have against us if we just take the prisoner?
If it
We'll
comes
show
to
them
that,
our peaceful
perhaps
ways
we can do
by
that.
force.
Yeah, but if they're able to so quickly believe in some goddess or whatever, then maybe we can talk them into a real one. Yeah.
Okay.
And if all else fails, maybe we can convince them that ridding the world of a dangerous creature like this one, or dangerous creatures like this in general, would be preferable than sacrificing humans or humanoids. I don't know.
Not too entirely convinced sounding.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it works. You guys ready to head up?
think
Yeah.
so.
Righty. Let me move you guys back onto the overland map, where we probably don't really need to load in, but I like to show it for the people who are watching as well, as done a lot in the past 11 levels or so. In fact, how about we take our 5-minute break here?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Sounds good.
Sure.
That's good.
Alrighty. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. See you guys later. Or, well, in a second. Yeah.
Probably start feeding the charcuterie to parents, as he's the inside.
Alright, there we go. So, we are back. As you guys, I think we're just heading back to the boggard village in Botu. Not to be confused with Timbuktu.
Absolutely.
So, guys over. As you guys arrive, once again, along and into the village here. Sorry, I'm gonna move you around here 1 second, because this is not where you arrived. It's the last time.
As we enter the village, Barrett is going to cast a spell on Kiba.
Okay.
Oh my. Wait a minute, I just had an idea. What if
Swamp.
we march in, Giraffe holding up the tongue in his hands, as I go in with my lyre and I sing a song about our victory against Hooktongue.
Kiba,
Yes?
I don't know if we're at that point with these people yet.
Let me just feed this to a parent real quick. This time with Emmental cheese.
Okay. Well, you feed yourselves. Charcuterie board, probably on the way there. But as you're getting closer, you're hearing the sort of low croaks of these boggards, many of them. Seems like they're up on the surface of the village here as you arrive back. Nobody's there to invite you, or rather, tell you not to enter. Seems like they're busy.
Let's hurry up. I don't have a good feeling about this.
Indeed.
And I cast True Speech on Kiba, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing to drag. Got it.
Yeah, you can right-click anything and make it a extempore effect. Just remind yourself that you have it there. Yeah.
Very cool.
And it even has the correct amount of time, too. So, very useful. Now, as you guys return, it seems as though the boggards have been busy. All of a sudden, there's way more bustle on the surface of the village here. And much of that bustle is around this central statue that you saw once before, though only in passing. The statue of a four-eyed frog, sort of looming over the rest of the village here, and from its maw were hanging ropes with hooks on the end of them. It seems like those are currently in use, as you see this six-legged insectoid humanoid, bog strider that you saw only in passing before, now strung up in the jaws of this, well, statue of Gagunta, with the rest of the boggards sort of whooping and hollering in their sort of guttural speech. Sepoko, that chieftain shaman, right in front, making offerings and prayers out to... You hear Gugunta, especially if you have true speech, you sort of hear him making prayers to that god, or not really, not technically a god, a demon lord, but still very close to one.
Kiba, you gotta do something.
That's right. We have returned with the tongue of Hooktongue.
See many of the boggards turn, and Sepoko sort
Hold
of
it up.
leans out. Ah, you have done well. Just in time for our sacrifice to Gugunta. Will you join us? Friend now of the tribe.
Is this sacrifice truly necessary? What about the sacrifice that we just committed? Slaying Hooktongue. Would that not be enough?
It is not a matter of enough, but a matter of plenty. We give what we can at all times to the lords, so that we may return or be returned gifts from them. We have no use for this one, this insect, so we will sacrifice them for our Lord.
Will this truly be of any benefit to you, to sacrifice this one, who has done no harm to you or your people?
What does it matter whether they have harmed us or not? They are of no use to us, and we do not waste resources, not least living ones, should be
If they're of no
granted
use
to
to
our
you,
demon lord.
if they're of no use to you, why would they be of use to your lord?
Roll a religion check.
It was crossed so hard.
You got to your point, right?
I got a hero point still. Oh,
Oh,
Natural 20.
oh,
Okay.
oh. Shellen's no longer forsaking me.
We must make sacrifices to our gods. That is always how it has been. What do you propose we do otherwise? Get angry with us. Very angry, and curse our people. We have been probably cursed by Gugunta because we forsook him momentarily for the Lady in the Reeds. We need to make recompense. Return ourselves to good favor with him.
you've been cursed right now.
Are you cursed right now?
Hooktongue's emergence was a curse.
But it wasn't by sacrificing this fellow here that Hooktongue was removed.
Then in this way we give thanks. What you mean to say we do not do? You would protect us, as you have done many times already.
There would not be any guarantee that we would be able to immediately protect you quickly. But I would propose that we could open up the diplomatic relations of sorts, where you could send for a request for aid and we could try to respond as soon as we have the resources, the manpower. We could try to do these things as we have done with Hooktongue.
No guarantees we will not be cursed again for forsaking this sacrifice. Roll me a diplomacy check.
Reroll.
Okay. 1. 15.
I accept.
Okay.
Workable.
Again. +1 over their will DC. If you say that you have gods that do not require sacrifices, that we can keep everything we gain, that we can prosper without servitude, perhaps then we do not need to return to Gugunta's favor. It will take some time, perhaps. We will still need to make some other sacrifices. But this one that you seem so worried about, you may keep yourselves. Want them?
We would like that. We'd be very grateful.
Very well. Take them. And the boggard sort of unties them. And in the true speech, sort of you hear chittering out of the mouth of this bog strider. Thank you. You've saved life, Coquette.
It was the least we could do.
Maybe you'll visit people. Save your friend.
If we would be welcome, we would be delighted.
South. He sort of pokes a hole in your map, the location.
Yeah.
And he rushes
Oh,
out.
our map. Now, there's one more request.
One
If you see
more.
people like us, we are not sacrifices. People that... How can I put this? Stick to animals or something.
This actually brings to mind Aristil.
You will have to speak to us another time about these gods of yours. Now that we have freedom from Hooktongue and freedom from the Lady of the Reeds, we have much to do. Huts to repair, food to gather, stocks to fill. Return with your others, your other people. Perhaps if they wish to teach us of these things. For you do not seem as though you are willing to teach a whole people different ways. At least you have better things to do.
Yes, it's not so much a matter of willingness, so much as there are much better people who could do such a thing effectively. And I do have one in mind.
I can make no guarantees that my people will not act out of accordance or beyond what you would deem worthy to act. But in time, perhaps things will change. You have shown us a different path. You outsiders have aided us with no reward in return.
That's true. I suppose you might say we were merely attempting to foster good relations, which on its own could be considered a reward, I suppose.
Then you
There is
perhaps are
value in
well
such
rewarded.
things.
We will learn, understand the ways of your people in time. For now, though, we must do many things now that we are free.
One question before we depart.
Yes.
If we were to send somebody who might speak to you about a god who believes in the hunt, believes in strong leadership among us around a small community, around your part in the natural world, is that somebody you might at least listen to? Even just once?
Perhaps. If they are friends of yours, we will listen to them so far as we may. Though your beliefs, ideas, they may prove incompatible to our
They may.
lives in this swamp.
But if nothing else, at least maybe it's an opportunity to understand how we think and how we might find some kind of common ground, even if you don't make any kind of a commitment to this.
Maybe so. We shall see. So, they sort of nod at you and go about their business now that they're free to do so without threat on either side of them. Give yourselves 300 experience points for
Oh,
doing this quest for them and for not having to kill all of them. So you get the
I
experience
love
points.
not killing all of them.
That's a great reward. I mean, like we could have, but like That
Oh, you
would have been
easily
quite the
could.
hassle.
Yeah.
The
How can it
shaman
be
could.
easy if it's 300 EXP worth of frogs?
There comes a point when it's just like one fireball gives you a lot. Mhm. And part of it is quest reward.
Gonna be interesting to see to visit our new friend that we made immediately after this.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
So, as the boggards rush off to do their business, what do you guys do from here?
We don't have anything pressing for once. We could explore.
That
Explore.
point,
Go meet. Get.
yeah, Coquette sort of said that his tribe lives here, deeper swamp.
Making contact with new people is always a good thing for us to
I do agree.
expand our influence and know what we're dealing with. Although that spell only lasts an hour, so we might have issues communicating.
Just have to cast it. You'll just have to have you cast it again once we get there.
Indeed.
All right. So, yes, you guys got back to the boggard home, the village of Embo 2. Where do you wish to go from here?
Have King Mom left? Anyone? Any
I'm down to
speaks?
go wherever.
Also, you guys remember that, Fort Drelev, which is the town of one of the other adventurers from Germani Eldori's, charters, is actually right next door. It is on the sort of river here that leads into Lake Hooktongue.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really close.
Interesting, yeah.
Does it happen to have level? What level is the town? Question mark. Do we know?
You do not know, not being there.
Okay.
We should probably announce ourselves if we're going to be wandering around in his land.
Does he control the swampland? Or do they?
I
I
think
should
we
say.
probably
We recall that
more-
from what we've learned.
So, what you remember about the charter, the charters that were granted out, he was to handle, yes, he was to handle Hooktongue and sort of the sort of plains around here, right? This sort of stripper land. But you also remember that there was a fourth group, the Iron Wraiths, that were to handle the Tiger Lords. Here. You've not heard of them in years, though.
Have we heard much of Drelev's group, or not really either?
Roll me a society check.
One second. Let me get back to my sheet.
Something. So, what you remember is there shouldn't be a movement of the scene. 1 second, guys.
Push comes to shove. What would happen if Drelev were to come in conflict with the boggards?
I guess
yeah.
we should let them know what we're doing and what we've done here so far. And then we can maybe continue to explore, but we'll have to see if they're against that idea.
So, you remember about Drelev's group that they had initial successes. They built their town here, Fort Drelev, and it was, it did a little bit of trade with you guys, but that was only a few years ago when it was getting started. You remember from the boggards that Hooktongue awakened around that time. You also have heard news that the Tiger Lords, the barbarian clans of these hills, have been in constant war with Drelev for quite some time.
Ah, jeez.
So,
So I'm assuming the barbarians you just mentioned are different from the group that was to settle up here?
Yes, the Iron Wraiths were to deal with the Tiger Lord barbarians and settle those lands. But you have not heard anything about the Iron Wraith group. Those are their 4 armored, like fully plate armored adventurers that were sort of like snide, and everyone thought they were the most powerful ones there or whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
They gave everybody the cold shoulder.
Yes. This was a long, long time ago.
Well,
Oh.
they're not going to be in Kingmaker Chapter 6.
Well, Parent reminds everybody of these things.
Mhm.
We should maybe go talk to Drelev and see what's going on.
Might have been a good idea to send a letter ahead of time, but it seems like we're here now.
Do you think we should go back and send a letter then, instead?
You're right here.
We should just go visit. What are they gonna do? Kick us out? But we have a little bit of the swamp to explore before we go there still, at least, so...
Mhm. So yeah, let's head in that direction to knock out a piece of the swamp. Roll me a reconnoiter.
Okay. Perception, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking through this region of the swamp, it seems like there are a few rugged individuals, like humanoid individuals, like halflings and humans and such, that are making their homes on sort of like stilted homes out here every so often. There's swampers, there people that harvest the resources of the swamp. Peat, you know what peat is? That's sort of like the proto coal or whatever. That can be burned for fuel, and hunt other creatures of the swamp. But that's few and far between, and some of the homes out here seem abandoned too. But otherwise, there's nothing of interest out here, or danger.
Just people making their lives.
Surely those empty homes weren't because of the boggards, right?
Don't say that after we just left them all there.
So, you guys do not investigate anything else further? Go knocking on people's doors or anything like that? You guys head to Drelev? Fort Drelev?
I guess so.
I'm not sure if we should explore the swamp more or go to Drelev.
Either or is fine.
And we're definitely gonna turn back around to explore Crockett's place, right?
We should go check it out eventually. It's all a matter of if you want to go to Drelev now and deal with politics, or do the fun stuff, which is exploring.
I mean, it's not like we're gonna be roped into finding the Tiger Lords immediately, right? It's never gonna happen.
I hear... What do I hear? Where are you going?
Indecision is what you hear.
Indecision. We could hold a vote. Time for Drelev.
Okay.
1 for Drelev, 2 for more swamp in the chat. More swamp?
Right.
It is.
So we're swapping.
Yep. Let's do this first and then visit Drelev.
Okay.
Given what we know and what we remember now, it's very likely that once we go there, we'll be committing some of our time.
I'm sure there's not a national crisis everywhere we go.
So, as well, you guys decide to go more into the swamp and explore more of that. What direction do you go? Left here.
Let's circle around the
Yeah.
fortress.
As you delve into this deeper but perhaps a little bit drier section of the swamp, perception, reconnoitering, gives you an impression that this area of the swamp seems to have something strange going on within it. strange as in, it feels colder around here. It's almost this chill that brings with it some fog as well.
Is this like a supernatural kind of chill?
Roll me a occultism. You surmise that this definitely isn't natural, and it sort of lines up with your ideas about the occult. It certainly might be something supernatural. It seems to be centered around, or between two forested hills here, where seems to be sort of an inlet of the bog still sort of festering between those two hills. Change the music.
Do you guys want to go check it out? There's something maybe spooky over there.
Of course we do.
Music. Yeah, that works. So, and as you get closer as well, the otherwise ubiquitous swamp song, crickets, birds, and frogs also falls silent, chill here. You see small eddies of water swirling around, bubbling plumes of escaping swamp gas in that sort of boggy inlet between those two forested hills. The only way forward into the sort of depths of this chilled place is to enter that water, that sort of knee-deep water. Which may mean some of you may need to do a doggy paddle.
I can do that. I'm not bad at swimming.
Really knee-deep, but waist-deep, I should say, for
Oh, okay.
giraffe size.
Oh,
Wow.
Is this a naturally occurring kind of thing? The swamp.
Your
Water,
occultism
whatever.
already sort of told you
Okay.
this is maybe certainly something a little more supernatural. Something about the feeling of the place, about how it is maybe cursed, maybe sort of affected by something supernatural.
Yes, can you make us a bow?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Roll me a crafting check.
Mercier is gracious enough to help.
Less fantastic this time. But, with a 30, you still, over the course of a few hours, sort of put together some planks, lash them together, and give yourself a rudder for it, or maybe some oars that you chop out of some of the willow trees around here. And I'm going to say, for the purpose of it, it is going to be a little bit of a, yeah, like one of those push rafts. So, move you guys over to a new scene if you, well, you start using it and entering, right?
Of course.
Yep. That's good.
All right. So I'm gonna also draw out for a little raft here. It's a size. There we go. So about 15 feet across. It's yeah, enough for you guys all to stand on. A little bit wobbly, but otherwise, you see this swamp for you. This sort of fetid, chilly, foggy place, sort of stretch out. Trees sort of looming over the sides of it here. Swamp
Guess
bubbles sort of
I could fight some wyverns here.
working up. So, how do you guys proceed? Seems like this is the epicenter of whatever this is.
Maybe there's something in the water in the middle causing this.
We'll just have to keep an eye out. Yarmos keeps his peeled, at least.
Yeah, if you are searching, roll me a perception check.
Just gonna keep doing the detect magic thing.
Keep my scout going.
All right. So, looking out ahead of you, it's hard to see anything amiss in this miasma ahead. It seems almost as if it's hiding something from you. The waters, the fogs, the vapors, the bubbles. It's a miasma to cover up something. It's the distinct impression that you're getting. Can't see anything from here. Get the feeling that you'll have to go deeper. You push the boat.
I have no qualms against it.
Yes.
You know,
Push the
I
boat.
actually want to do this.
you know.
I have no qualms against it now.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we had like a marvelous miniature that was like a big fan or something. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
Fairy token fan.
That was your
Shoot. Actually, I think I do have that.
Do we have that? I thought we got one of those.
Yeah, I took it. Just in
Uh,
case.
Yarmos, didn't you pick up one of those fan thingies? Maybe you can use it to blow all this fog out.
Well, someone else picked it, but I'll certainly use it.
Okay. Well, if we are...
That doesn't. Oh, gust of wind.
Yeah, gust of wind. If we are going about the laws of physics, if you're producing a wind gust in that direction, you're going to push the boat in the other direction.
Hmm.
Filling the sail with air and granting the vessel 10 foot, so it does affect vessels.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Do we have
Or
do we
it
have a
casts
sail on this
gust of
draft
wind.
though?
Well, I mean, it still would have the same effect if you're pushing wind in one direction, right? It'd still sort of like
Yeah.
push you.
Unless I kind of anchor us. No, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't help.
I mean, you're not actually holding the fan; it like floats in the air and blows on its own.
My call to make. Roll me. Actually, we'll let the dice decide. Roll me a. What do you got here? Roll me a crafting check to figure out how you can do it without having the boat sort of like shift around because of the wind currents around you and such. And you find a very good way of doing it. Yeah, you figure something out. I don't know exactly how, but yes.
I'm rigging up a really complex momentum contraption
Yeah.
around the boat.
Sort of like different sails or whatever that sort of captures some of the backblast or something, and yeah. So, you sling the gust of wind across this place here, and as it is fanned out, it opens up more of the waters. The only thing left that could hide anything here is now the water before you.
I could scout ahead.
And one more thing. With some of your perceptions, you notice sparingly in some of the places where the water is its thinnest, or where it's shallowest, I should say, you see bits of bone in the muck.
Oh, that's just a welcoming sight.
Zoom in, you might be able to see them yourself.
Oh, that's a lot of bones.
Quite a few strewn about the place. Graveyard.
Well, shall I do a little scouting?
If you think it'll help, I certainly don't mind just taking the boat further in.
At least for that fog is gone. We can see better. We know what's coming. Maybe.
So, Someone's
push
got to
the
do
boat.
something.
We move the boat forward.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah,
So
move the boat.
Kiba not going into the air, not flying.
Yeah, not after talking me out of it. Then I'll
Okay.
continue helping move the boat. Yeah, I imagine I'm probably helping with
Yeah.
pushing it with whatever.
Pushing it with one of those like gondola sticks or whatever.
Yeah, I mean I can turn my glaive into one if I need to.
And as you guys are pushing the boat along, sort of stabbing sticks down into the muck where all those bones lie, you push the boat about, or the raft about in the center of this bog. And as you're looking around, Gaz, as you plunge the stick once more into the muck, it hits something much more sturdy than just the swampy muck water or mucky sort of sand or silt underneath. Something that then shifts underneath where you feel the stick in the ground and grasps it, holds onto the stick, and pulls it from you. I need an athletics check. Gaz.
Oh boy.
There's sudden tumult in the water over there. You're wrestling to not have that stick taken away from you. But
I'll hero point it actually.
okay. See, you actually, with the hero point, you're able to sort of like realize, just turn it a little bit in a different direction, give them less leverage. You're able to pull it away from them, but not before you see this hand also sort of grasping to one side, being pulled up by the stick. This murky, rotten, sort of bulging hand filled perhaps from the swamp waters and gases sort of bloated by it, sort of appears out from it. You see following it a face of the sunken dead. Another two sort of appear out from the waters, and then a third as well from those others. And with that, as they all rise out, they sort of like suck in the air around them with this slurping sound, and one of them does speak. More faithful to kill in her name. We're gonna end the session there, because we don't want to get into combat too late.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's fair.
As it would probably go like 20-30 minutes, and I know Giraffe, you have
Yeah.
school and all that, and everyone else
Yay!
is, yeah.
You remember
Mhm,
my
yeah.
suffering.
So, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. So, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to follow if you aren't already. But otherwise, if you like the maps, all these, many of these maps in Hooktongue are actually like bespoke maps that I made that you won't find in the remake module, or rather the official module for Pathfinder or Kingmaker. So yeah, it's very, very useful for many different little little encounters to have maps to run them on. Wow. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. And I hope you guys are liking the new model as well. It gives me a little bit more expressiveness. I need to stop looking at myself, though. If you see me looking like this, I'm like looking at myself just to
Aw.
make sure that I'm looking right. It's like, you guys remember being like on Zoom calls and it's like, I have to look at myself. Do I look right? You know, that sort of thing.
I mean, on the bright side, all of us are over in that direction.
Yeah, that's sort of why I oriented it this way. So yeah, but yeah, that's it for our session today. We're gonna head off. Or actually, Kipa, you stream.
I sure do. Although I took last week off for, I needed some extra rest. But hi, everybody. I am Chris Kobold, the player of Kiba, retro streamer here on Twitch, focusing largely on old Nintendo and Sega classics. Come drop by sometime, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It'll be fun.
So, see you guys later.
Have a good one.
Bye
So
bye.